the screen, you can see I have a Frederick Douglass shirt on, who Frederick Douglass famously said that power concedes nothing without a demand. And you made a demand and said, look, you have to diversify the team. And I want to talk a little bit about leverage. I'm going to get to Queen on that question as well, but talk a little bit about sometimes using the leverage that you have, whether it as a client, sometimes even we might have to legislate this type of things because it just hasn't happened. So talk a little about how we use our power to really kind of force some of these things that are, we're very sensitive to at this moment in time, but how can we make sure that we continue to have that degree of accountability that you mentioned in that post?
Yeah, what David's referring to is at an instance where we were working with a top 10 PR agency in the US, and just the nature of our client base, our audience is primarily minorities. And so we wanted to develop that minority campaign, making sure that our messaging, our pitching, our media hits were being inclusive of that. And the account team that they assigned to us was all white, every single one of them. And I thought, well, that's interesting because I know minorities work for you. I've seen them, I know them, some of them are my colleagues. And after multiple conversations, they weren't improving. And so I had made a very direct ask. I said, look, I would like to add a person of color to your team. We repeatedly asked for this. They repeatedly didn't want to do it. Eventually, what they did is they offered me 2 more white employees. And that completely missed the entire point of why we wanted someone diverse on the team to begin with. So we had to make I want to say it was a tough call. It wasn't. It was more of making sure my organization was behind me when I made the call, and they were. Sure. But yeah, we cut them. It was unacceptable, and companies are not going to learn if it doesn't hit their wallets, unfortunately. And so that was a decision that had to be made. Or if you're in your own organization working for an agency, it's about looking at hiring, right? If you are in a position to hire, are you looking for diverse staff to add to your team? Are you holding your agency accountable for hiring diverse staff on your team? We know a lot of PR agencies are hired to go after certain audiences, right? I need to appeal to the Black audience or the Latinx audience, the Asian audience. Are you making sure that when you're putting that team together, that PR team, that there is someone who is Asian or Latin or Black? Because if you're not, then what kind of service are you offering your client? Is that an authentic thing to offer them? That are you actually an expert in what you're saying you're an expert in?
Very good. Thank you.